Hello and welcome to week 2, day 1. Today I want to tell you an important story in my life. When I was studying music, piano diploma, in February 75 I wanted to practice the Brahms Sonata Opus 1, which has 28 pages, and I thought, yeah, February has 28 days, so every day I learn one page by heart. It's a very virtuoso piece. I made it learning it by heart. I could play it from the beginning to the end, but by the end of the month I had a severe tendinitis on both arms. I couldn't even lift a cup of tea. And I got treated by school medicine, which didn't bring a good solution. And then acupuncture made it that my energy could flow again and the inflammation went out of the system. So that's another point which we call musician medicine. Yeah, and it was obvious that I needed a new movement type, and I began developing the three-dimensional movement analysis, and I could play much more effectively. Now if I play the Brahms Sonata today, you can look down here on the link, click on the link. I'm totally free and I have lots of energy which I can apply, although the forearms are still a little bit sensitive. That means that I would not carry heavy stuff for a long time. Only I would lift things shortly, yes, but I would not do hard physical work with my arms. Yeah, and it was really good that later I could even transport a big concert grand piano with special equipment, but I was the only person worldwide to transport a Bösendorfer Imperial with 2.90 m and 630 kg because the playing system was installed. I could handle it all alone, and I could set it up from the car to the first note played in 6 minutes. So this was my way to overcome the severe tendinitis. And now we talk about this three-dimensional movement analysis, which resulted from the necessity to have more effective movements and have a better economy of biological energy by using the body. So we have 3 dimensions in which we live. We are in time and space. Time is the 4th dimension, maybe. One level is the sagittal level, this level, dividing the body in 2 halves, longitudinal. Then the second level is the frontal level, like the front, this one level. And the third level is the horizontal level. These 3 levels are vertically to each other, and you never can totally separate them, they're always unified. But still I can practice a circular movement on each of these levels, which I call the movement atom. From this movement atom, and having these 3 movements atoms at disposition, we can solve any technical problem, combining it sometimes with the rhythmical structure. But this is a great key to get sovereign and secure in playing. So the securer you get, the less stage fright you have. So we begin with the sagittal level. I'll demonstrate the exercise with a closed lid. And also make a remark about this ergonomic piano bench. You see the seat is diagonal, so that the lower part of the spine column is balanced vertically with ease. And this is also possible because the thighs are inclined as well as the seat, so that I do not have to make a movement to sit up, an effort. Instead, if the thighs are horizontal on another chair, which is flatter or however, then automatically the lower part of the spine column goes back, and to sit upright I have to make an effort, a movement, which I will continuously have to keep up to have an upright position. But like this, it's very easy, and you can sit for hours without being tired. Now I put my arm on the lid of the keyboard, and I take 3 fingers as a block, so that it's not important how stable or labeled the finger is. Just put my arm on the lid, like this. And you see I can press on the lid. I can be nearly lifting off, really make a little weight. So it's a whole range of weight which I can apply to the keyboard with the arm. Now I sort of just let the own weight of the arm just sit here on the keyboard. The second factor is the movement of the basin. The back position is called the 0 position, and the front position is this. So try to keep at the same position with your head, or with the upper part of the spine, and make this hip movement. Well, it is part of the body which is covered with many taboos. It's where the sexual force is. And working with these movements, we can spiritually see this movement as a transformation of sexual energy into music. This is a very basic truth, that we are transforming our energy into music. So this is no taboo anymore. It is just the fact that we are transforming energy from our soul and body system. Yeah, so now we go to the 0 position. The basin is back and the arm weight is placed on the keyboard. Now, normally you think you move the fingers to make music. It is a peripheral movement which is controlled by the intellect. And many people begin practicing like this and playing more complex pieces. They have to involve more parts of the body, so they're coming from the periphery to the center, but very few arrive having a really holistic movement. The only one I would totally agree with that he has arrived was Joseph Hoffmann. He played every movement out of the holistic movement of his body. And my approach is totally reverse. I come from the center and go to the periphery. The center is the basin. This is why I call it atomic power. So now we begin with the center. The basin moves slowly forward. That enlightens the arm. It begins to slide and lift off and come back in a circular movement to the 0 position, and the basin goes back as well to the 0 position. Let's do this again. Basin begins, arm gets lighter, arm slides front, arm lifts off, and about here is the point of return. The circular movement of the arm goes back and the basin goes back and lands in the 0 position again. Once again, basin forward, arm light, arm slide, arm lift off, reversing the movement and coming back to the 0 position. So this setting the weight in the key is the energy for the note. Now we look how this works with the keyboard. Yeah, I put my finger block on a black key, so it's easier. With 3 fingers I would touch the neighbor keys. When I put it on white, I can take only 2. But now I go on a black key. It's C sharp. Basin begins to move, arm gets light, arm slides, arm lifts off, reversing the movement and going back to the 0 point. You may hit another key, but doesn't matter. It shows that you are learning a new motoric movement. Basin moves slowly forward, arm gets lighter, arm slides, arm lifts off, reversing the movement, going back to the point 0. Basin and arm. Now I make it periodically. And I can make it smaller. The amplitude is smaller. That makes it a very controllable pianissimo. And having the feeling for the release point of the hammer, having knowledge about the piano action, I can amplify, I can make the movement bigger. It's always the same quality and have great force. And go through all levels of loudness. Each of these notes are played with a basin from the center to the periphery. And I have total control. I can make minimal movements. I can amplify them. Depends on the energy which is flowing. Well, now I play an interval. Take 2 fingers. They are antagonistically fixated, and set them in the keyboard in this circular movement, like this. And you feel it's very precise. Also the exact same time the keys are pressed or pushed. Now I make a chord. This is Brahms Sonata. That's the power. But now I practice the chords. Each one is the circular movement. That's the exercise which we are going to do. The chord exercise. Well, basically that was the sagittal level, and to enter in the frontal level I will stand up, and for this I'm going to change the view of the camera. Okay, now we make a very difficult exercise with elementary knowledge. We transpose the weight from one leg to another. Now I transpose the weight on my right leg. I can lift the left one. Then I go on the left leg. I can lift the right one. Now I'm like a pendulum. I'm only lifting very little. But important that there is a moment of going over the point of the first touch of the earth when the weight is posed, and it swings over until the direction reverses. Swings over, direction reverses. Yeah. And this gives a moment of feeling like there is no gravity. In this moment I can relax in the best way. I can relax my muscles of the other leg and form it new. Is there a necessity to go to move the knees to transpose the weight? Everybody understands there is no necessity. Just transpose the weight. The leg is straight. The muscles just keep it in a straight position. This is called the antagonistic fixation. And then we swing. Now we have a look how we can transfer this to the keyboard. We again begin with the lid closed. Now we look how this transmission of the weight is applied in the sitting position. The legs are just standing there. If I put 2 fingers on the keyboard, I take 2 and 4, which have about the same length. I transpose the weight like this, and I move my whole body with it, so I have a holistic feeling of the whole body transposing the weight, and this is being projected on the fingers and on the keyboard. We need this holistic feeling more and more, so that there will be only this holistic feeling. There will be nothing else. There will be no separated finger movement without body. That was all. There was different schools in Paris. Mr. Kalkbrenner, he said he put the hand on a chair, on the back of a chair, so that he would not move the body, just move the fingers. This may be an interesting phase of developing and learning, but at the end we must arrive at holistic body movements. Okay, now we try to apply this to the piano. I put the second finger on the D and the fourth finger on the F. Now I put the second finger in the D. This is a movement of the sagittal level. Now I switch to frontal level and transmit the weight from the second finger to the fourth finger, moving the whole body. If I now take less body, make it faster, the whole body cannot go that fast. You see, a certain tempo requires a certain part of the body. Now I have the whole arm swinging. If I'm faster, it's only the forearm swinging. If I'm even faster, I need some other techniques which we will talk about when we talk about the technique of the trill. Okay. You must discover your body, how your body applies to the keyboard. This is a new approach, but it will be your approach, I'm sure about that. And there is no dogma to play high or low. It depends. If you want to have a direct and elastic impulse, then you need full energy. If you have an unelastic impulse, you need a soft movement, you need to be flat. So I want to overcome all the dogmas which exist by seeing a polarity and finding the right place in this polarity. Just to say my attitude. But now we transmit the weight between 2 and 4, and in the middle we play 3. Important, the feeling of being without gravity here, and in this point without gravity, the fingers form for the next movement. Here they form, they prepare, and go down. It's just a rolling movement. The transmission of the weight has a lot of the rolling movement. Now we take 2 and 5. And fill it up with the fingers in between. Preparing in the point of no gravity. Preparing and rolling. Preparing, rolling. Preparing, rolling. Preparing, rolling. Preparing, rolling. Now we take 1 and 5. 1 is shorter. The 5 is more level because it's the smallest finger, but still can have a lot of power when it is fixated antagonistically. 1, 5. Now we have 3 legs which are touching. Preparation in the air, rolling down. And in the preparation, when you have seen that when the 4 and 3 was too close together and the movement was not regular, then next time you split them in the air, split them further apart, and like this every time you perfectionize the rolling movement, and you're more direct in the depth of the key, just going around this point of release of the hammer. So that is goes like glissando. But it's controlled with every finger. It's the same movement for an arpeggio. But involve your body to have the right feeling for the support the edge finger need. And in between they're just rolling. It's the same for a chromatic thing. For the finger preparation, because you're between black and white keys, is the fingers are on a different level. They just like a mirroring of the landscape of the keyboard. So I put it here and I fix it and I just look on it, how it looks. In the other camera you can see it. And that's it about the frontal level. Now we come to the horizontal level. How do I apply this? I take the first 4 notes of the scale. I take the C major scale. The first finger is going on C and on F. Now I just go back and forth between these 4 notes. With the C, I have to go back with my arm. You see, it's from front to back. And with the F, I go front. I come from back to front. Front to back, back to front. Back, front. Back, forward. Back, forward. This is like a circular movement. You see it very good from the other camera. Now, I have to apply the notes in between, 2 and 3. When I'm in the back movement, the 2 and 3 are going back. We practice this. Make 2, 3 going back. And go back, and at the same time you make the rolling movement, so the levels can never be totally separated. You have to go back and roll. And when we go down, then the 3-2 goes in the front movement. And now I apply it with the thumb. The thumb is going also on F. It will go under the other fingers strongly. So. And be oriented that you just control, you watch the back and forth movement with the thumb. This is the control of the figure. the rest sort of runs automatically. That's it. That's the horizontal movement, which helps when you put more positions side by side. For example, when I play the scale, I go here. I would go back a fourth now, but I don't play fourth. I wait until the arm goes back again, and every position is like in a back movement. Back, then let the arm swing forward to have a new energy for the new back. Now this is not a regular scale. We want the notes to be regular. So now I have, when I don't let the arm swing forward so much, but I sort of pull back the arm. See that going backwards is like a movement like this, and going upwards it's a movement like this. So this helps your arm to relax and always to keep in touch with this connection to the basin. So everything is a holistic movement. Mistake. We're talking about mistakes psychology. It's a real fun chapter. I often have fun with my mistakes, and I can find out easily why they happen, and this is what their function. And the brain only works by making mistakes. It can only learn by making mistakes. So that's the horizontal level. That was it about. The three-dimensional movement atoms. We'll have to look how we can apply this to many pieces and to technically difficult passages. And it's a fantastic tool which will help you to develop your technique and be fulfilled with your whole body when you make music. And by this you find your true nature. Bye-bye.